I'm Jack. I teach physics at a high school in Northern Oregon. I used to think I had a stable life, tenure, a modest house, a wife I trusted, and a school where I was respected. Then came Megan's conference. Megan teaches English Lit at the same school. She's always been passionate about literature, and I love that about her. But recently, something changed. Her attention wandered. Her texts were shorter. She started dressing differently. Nothing wrong with that, of course. People evolve. But when she mentioned a weekend educational leadership conference in Seattle, I felt it in my gut. I asked if I could tag along, just for company. She smiled too quickly and said, "It's strictly for department heads. Plus, you'd be bored to death." That was the first red flag. The second came 2 nights before she left. I walked into the kitchen and saw her texting someone. When she saw me, she flipped the phone face down. I tried brushing it off, but I couldn't. That night, I barely slept. I kept replaying the way she looked up at me, guilty. Friday morning, she left in a rush. No goodbye kiss. Just a "don't forget to water the plants." By noon, I received an anonymous email. "Your wife's not in Seattle. You should check again. She's with someone. Someone you know." No sender. No attachments. Just that. I froze. I've never felt my heart drop that fast. It was like watching a slow-motion accident. Except it was my life colliding with the truth. And I wasn't going to look away. The first thing I did was check her travel itinerary. Megan wasn't staying at the conference hotel. Her reservation was at a completely different place. A hotel known for its cozy, private rooms. That didn't sit well with me. I had no idea why she'd lie about something like that. So, I decided to dig a little deeper. I called the conference center in Seattle under the pretense of confirming a group booking. They were kind enough to give me the guest list, which, unsurprisingly, didn't include her name. That was confirmation enough. But something inside me was still hesitant. It all seemed too easy. The next step was checking our shared calendar. Megan had marked the weekend as a personal project. But there was an entry I hadn't noticed before. It read Special Project A&M for Saturday night. I knew who A&M were, Adam Reeves and Megan. Adam was a new PE teacher at the school, fresh out of college, and I'd always thought he was a bit too eager around Megan. But I brushed it off, convinced I was just being paranoid. Then it hit me. The A in A&M wasn't just a coincidence. Adam. It had to be him. I couldn't sit on this any longer. I had to confirm it. So, I went old school. I pulled out my phone, called my former student, Sarah Chin. She had graduated last year, but we kept in touch. She was sharp, tech-savvy, and she owed me a favor. I asked her to help me track Megan's phone. It wasn't legal, but I was desperate. I couldn't just sit idly by, wondering. Within the hour, Sarah sent me a message. She's in Seattle with him. Hotel room 303. My stomach churned. But there was no turning back now. I knew exactly what I had to do. I packed a small bag, told no one, and drove the 4 hours to Seattle. I couldn't stop thinking the entire drive. My mind was racing between denial and cold fury. Maybe it was all a misunderstanding. Maybe they were just working on a school project. But who books a cozy hotel and hides their name from the conference list for work? When I arrived, I didn't go straight to the hotel. I needed proof. I needed something that couldn't be explained away with lies and excuses. I waited until dusk and walked into the lobby, blending in as just another tired traveler. I gave the receptionist Megan's name, pretending I was supposed to meet her and must have gotten the wrong room number. She confirmed the name and the room, 303. So it was true. She wasn't alone on this trip, and she lied about where she was staying. Still not ready to confront her, I did something I'm not proud of. I waited until they went out for dinner. I saw them leave the building together, hand brushing hand, and used a lock tool Sarah had mailed me the year before as a joke gift. She had a weird sense of humor. I opened the door to their room. I didn't touch anything, just looked. What I found on the desk ended every lingering doubt. A handwritten note from Adam. "Last night was incredible. You're electric. I never knew I could feel this way again. I wish we didn't have to sneak around, but I'd do it all over again. Can't wait for A&M this weekend. Love, Ed." I took a photo. Then I sat on the edge of the bed for a moment, staring at nothing, feeling everything. That's when Sarah called. "Hey," she said. "You okay?" "No," I replied quietly. "But I will be." She paused. "Want backup?" I didn't hesitate. "Yes." She was already on her way. Sarah arrived around 9 p.m. She brought coffee, a charged power bank, and a comm that I desperately needed. I hadn't told her everything, just enough. She pieced the rest together from the look on my face. We sat in my car across the street from the hotel, watching the entrance like amateur detectives. It felt surreal. This wasn't how I imagined my marriage ending. I was a physics teacher, not some betrayed husband in a late-night drama. At 10:17 p.m., Megan and Adam came back. Laughing. Laughing. They walked right past us. Megan had her hand on his back as they entered. No guilt. No second glances. Like they belonged together. Ready? Sarah asked. I wasn't. But I nodded anyway. We waited 5 minutes, just long enough for them to get comfortable. Then we walked inside. Straight up to room 303. I knocked twice, firm but calm. Silence. Then muffled voices. Then footsteps. Adam opened the door, wearing a hotel robe. The look on his face when he saw me? Priceless. Megan appeared behind him, wrapped in a towel, eyes wide like she'd seen a ghost. Jack? She stammered. Evening, I said flatly. Nice place. Shame about the company. Adam tried to say something, but I stepped inside before he could gather a thought. Sarah followed me in, holding up her phone. This is being recorded, she said. For legal reasons. Megan's jaw dropped. I walked to the nightstand, picked up the note again, and handed it to her. Didn't think I'd see this, did you? She looked like she was about to cry. I didn't care. Then I calmly opened my bag and pulled out a printed copy of the hotel's guest registry, their calendar entry, and the photo of the note, all neatly stapled. You two are going to sign a confession. Tonight. On video. They both started protesting. I'm not asking, I said. Sarah raised her phone. Smile for the camera. This wasn't the end yet, but it was the beginning of theirs. Megan stood there frozen, towel clenched to her chest like it could shield her from the storm she had summoned. Adam, to his credit, looked like he was about to throw up. I wasn't sure if it was guilt or fear, probably both. I'm not signing anything, Megan hissed. This is coercion. I nodded slowly. Then maybe Emily would like to hear about all of this. That shut them both up. Emily was Adam's wife. Sweet, soft-spoken, and utterly oblivious to the snake she'd married. I'd only met her once at a school barbecue, but she'd stuck in my mind, partly because she was so kind, and partly because I remember thinking Adam didn't deserve her. I have her number, I added. Want to talk to her? Adam's face drained of color. You wouldn't. I would. I dialed, put it on speaker, held it up for them to see. On the third ring, she answered. Hey Jack, everything okay? Megan panicked. Don't, please. I ignored her. Emily, I'm so sorry to call you this late, but you need to know something. Your husband is here. With Megan, my wife. In a hotel room. They've been having an affair. There was silence on the other end. Then a soft, shaking voice. Is he there now? I turned the phone so she could see Adam's miserable face. He looked like a scolded child. Emily, I'm sorry, he said, barely above a whisper. She didn't respond. The line went dead. Adam dropped into a chair, holding his head. Megan started crying, but I felt nothing. No pity. No regret. You did this to yourselves? I said. Sarah stepped forward and placed a blank statement of confession in front of them, something she had drafted using a legal template she found online. Sign it, or this video goes viral. They signed. I took pictures, collected the papers, folded them neatly into my bag. Good, I said. Now get dressed. You're not done yet. Because I had one last stage planned, and this one would be public. The next morning, I asked Sarah to set things in motion while I stayed close to Megan and Adam. I told them to act normal, to dress like any couple grabbing breakfast. If they tried to run, I'd post the video. If they lied to anyone about what happened, I'd forward it to the school board. They didn't argue. Cowards rarely do when cornered. At 8 a.m., we entered the hotel's trendy cafe for the continental breakfast. It was busy, full of guests and a few teachers from the same district, ones I recognized from workshops and conferences. Perfect. I picked a corner table where we could be seen by as many people as possible. Megan and Adam sat on one side like shamed children. I sat across from them, sipping black coffee, calm as ever. 10 minutes later, Sarah arrived, carrying her phone mounted on a small tripod. Streaming. Not to the public internet, yet. Just to a private school Facebook group where half the faculty and admin were members. She tilted her head. We live. Yep, I said. Go ahead. Sarah walked right up to our table and said loud enough for nearby tables to hear. So, Megan, Adam, how long have you two been sneaking around behind your spouse's backs? Every head in the room turned. Megan gasped. Adam muttered something unintelligible. The sound of utensils clinking stopped as silence filled the air. I stood and faced the camera. Hi, Jack Lane, Physics Department. I just wanted our coworkers to know why I'll be resigning soon. My wife Megan and Adam Reeves, our new PE teacher, have been carrying on an affair during school hours, at off-site conferences, and at this hotel, paid for by their so-called professional development fund. Gasps. Whispers. Someone took out their phone. Both of them admitted to the affair, and we have it in writing. Video 2. Emily, Adam's wife, has seen it. My resignation is coming, but first I thought everyone deserved the truth. You'll find copies of their statements in the staff email shortly. And with that, I walked away. Calm. Controlled. No yelling. No tears. The truth, after all, doesn't need to scream to shatter a life. Sarah ended the stream and followed me outside. We didn't say anything for a while, but I knew the damage was done, and I wasn't the one who'd be rebuilding from the ashes. By noon, the fallout had detonated like a precision strike. The video went viral in our school's private community. Parents were furious. Teachers were in shock. Students, who inevitably got hold of the footage, started spreading memes and nicknames faster than wildfire. Gym Class Romeo and Shakespeare's Mistress trended in school group chats. The principal, Mr. Danner, called me before lunch. "Jack, what the hell happened?" "I told the truth," I replied. His voice dropped to a whisper. "We've placed both Megan and Adam on immediate administrative leave pending investigation. Human Resources will handle the rest. I'm resigning next week," I said, not because I'm ashamed, but because I need a clean break. Mr. Danner sighed. "Understood. But, for what it's worth, most of the staff are on your side." I hung up and checked my email. Over 24 messages had flooded in. Teachers, old students, even parents thanking me for standing up for myself. Some offered job leads at better schools. Some just wrote, "Respect." Later that day, Sarah forwarded me screenshots of Megan's work email inbox, which had apparently been left open at the front desk computer before she fled the hotel. Subject lines like, "Unacceptable conduct," "Parent concern conference conduct," "HR inquiry, urgent." By evening, Emily messaged me. "Emily, thank you for telling me. I filed for separation today. I hope you find peace." I stared at her message for a long time. She didn't deserve this either. None of us did, except the two who created the mess. Meanwhile, Megan tried calling. Multiple times. I blocked her. Adam never even tried. Probably hiding. Sarah and I shared a quiet dinner that night. Just sushi and soft conversation. No plans. No revenge schemes. Just peace. For the first time in weeks, I slept through the night. But I knew the final confrontation was still coming. Because Megan wasn't done. And I wasn't finished either. A few days passed in silence. Then, as I was boxing up my things at school, Megan showed up at my classroom door. I almost didn't recognize her. The confident, polished woman I once married was gone. Her makeup was smudged, eyes swollen, blouse wrinkled. She looked like someone who'd finally seen herself in the mirror and hated what she saw. "Jack," she said quietly, "please, can we talk?" I didn't answer, just continued stacking textbooks. I made a mistake. I was stupid. It didn't mean anything, I swear. That sentence set me off. I turned to her, slowly. "You destroyed 2 marriages for something that didn't mean anything? You lied to my face for months. You mocked me with him. You laughed while I was at home planning your birthday." Her mouth opened, closed. "I've already filed," I added. "We're done." She walked closer. "I lost everything, Jack. The job's gone. My friends won't even look at me. I just want a chance to explain. You had that chance. Every day. And you wasted it." I picked up a sealed envelope from my desk. Divorce papers. Final copy. I handed it to her. "Sign this. Send it back. That's all the communication I need from you." She took it with trembling hands. "Do you hate me?" I met her eyes. "No, but I don't respect you. And that's worse." She cried as she left. But the part of me that used to hurt watching her fall apart, that part was dead. I wasn't cruel. I just wasn't her emotional punching bag anymore. And it felt freeing. 2 days after the final encounter with Megan, I received a call from an unfamiliar number. "Hello." I answered. "Mr. Lane? This is Rebecca Turner. I'm the department chair at Eastwood Academy. We saw your story, and we'd like to speak with you about an opportunity." I blinked. Eastwood Academy was one of the top-rated private schools in the state, science-focused, innovative, and with a reputation for academic freedom and strong teacher support. "I'm flattered," I said cautiously, but I didn't apply. She chuckled. "You didn't need to. One of our teachers, Sarah Chin, recommended you." I smiled to myself. That girl was a force of nature. "I saw your calm during that confrontation. The way you handled it, most people would have exploded." We need people like you. People with integrity. We scheduled a formal interview for the following week. The idea of leaving the scandal-stained halls of my current school and starting fresh somewhere with real support, that gave me something I hadn't felt in weeks, hope. Later that evening, I called Sarah to thank her. You deserve better, she said. And honestly, they need a guy like you. I'm not sure I'm ready to teach again. Then teach for yourself this time. Not for Megan. Not for what you lost. For what you're building. That hit hard. I spent the rest of the evening updating my resume, more motivated than I'd been in months. The past was finally behind me. And the future? It was finally mine to shape. Just when I thought it was over, Megan tried one last time. I was reviewing lesson plans for Eastwood Academy. Yes, I got the job, when I received a message from an unknown email address. The subject line was simple. Please read. Against my better judgment, I opened it. Jack, I know you don't owe me anything, but I just want you to know I've started therapy. I've lost my job, most of my friends won't speak to me, and my own sister won't let me see my niece. I'm trying to rebuild. I'm sorry for everything. I still love you. I always did. Please, don't forget that. Megan. I didn't reply, not because I was bitter, but because I had finally reached a point where her words had no power over me. I forwarded the email to my attorney, just in case she tried to claim she'd been abandoned or manipulated. Then I deleted it. What Megan didn't understand was this. Love without respect is poison. You don't get to betray someone and expect your "I love you" to be the cure. I had bled enough for her lies. I wasn't about to reopen wounds just because she was finally feeling the pain she had inflicted. Later that day, I walked into Eastwood Academy's staff lounge. The air felt clean. The people kind. My new students? Bright-eyed and curious. I wasn't just starting a new job. I was starting a new life. But I knew the final closure would come face to face. And that moment wasn't far off. It happened at the grocery store, of all places. I was grabbing apples when I saw her, Megan. She looked smaller. Not physically, but emotionally. Like a balloon with the air slowly leaking out. She noticed me before I could turn away. Jack, she said softly. I nodded. Megan. A long pause. She looked down at her cart. Bare essentials. Nothing like the overstuffed organic splurges she used to fill our weekends with. Then she looked back up, eyes glossy. You look good. I feel good, I replied. Another pause. I signed the final papers, she said, like it pained her to say the words out loud. It's done. I know. My lawyer told me. I miss us. I didn't flinch this time. That used to be my weak spot, nostalgia, the weight of us. But I saw her now for who she was, a chapter, not the whole book. I don't, I said gently but firmly. I miss the person I thought you were. But that person didn't exist. She bit her lip, a tear sliding down one cheek. I'm sorry, Jack. I know, I said. But your apology doesn't rewind time. And it doesn't rebuild trust. She didn't argue. After a moment, I added, I hope you find peace. But not with me. Then I turned and walked away. No anger. No sadness. Just clarity. That was the moment I truly let go. No more what-ifs. No more looking back. Just forward. 3 months passed. I moved into a sunlit apartment just a few blocks from Eastwood Academy. It was modest. Bookshelves lined with physics texts, mismatched furniture, and a balcony that overlooked a small park. But it was mine. And for the first time in years, my space felt like peace. My students were brilliant. Curious. Challenging, in the best way. They asked questions not just from textbooks, but from life. And I had answers, more than ever before. One Friday, after class, I stayed behind to help a senior named Marcus with his science fair project. After he left, Sarah Chin, now an intern teacher at Eastwood, knocked on my door. Still saving the world one photon at a time, she teased. I smiled. Trying. She walked in, placed 2 coffees on my desk. I thought maybe we could celebrate. Celebrate what? She pulled out her phone and showed me the school's latest faculty poll. Favorite teacher this semester, Mr. Lane. Unanimous. I laughed. Well, guess I'm not totally washed up. We sat for a while, sipping coffee. No drama. No tension. Just comfort. You've come a long way, Sarah said. You're not the same guy who called me in the middle of the night, shaking with betrayal. I had help, I said. From someone who believed in me when I forgot how to. She smiled, then stood. You'll make someone really lucky one day, Jack. Maybe, I said. But right now, I'm just happy being me. Because I didn't need a relationship to feel whole anymore. I didn't need closure from someone who shattered my trust. I had rebuilt myself, brick by brick. It was parent-teacher night at Eastwood Academy. I'd set up my classroom with interactive physics demos, magnets, lasers, a few exploding balloon tricks that always got a laugh. The place buzzed with energy as families strolled in and out. Halfway through the evening, a woman in her mid-30s approached. Well-dressed, confident. "You're Jack Lane?" she asked, smiling. "I am. How can I help?" "I'm Jordan Bell, Marcus's mom." "Ah, Marcus, the quiet, brilliant senior who'd recently built a working gyroscope for his project. I just wanted to say thank you," she continued. "Marcus talks about your class nonstop. Says you're the first teacher who makes science feel human." That stopped me cold, because for so long, I felt like I had been stripped of my own humanity, betrayed, broken, exposed. To hear someone say I made science feel human, that meant more than she knew. "Thank you," I said. That means a lot." She hesitated for a second, then added, "And for what it's worth, I saw the video. The hotel thing. You handled it with more grace than most people ever could." I blinked. "You've got fans out here," she said with a wink. "And not just in the classroom." I chuckled, a little embarrassed. "Well, I'm just trying to live honestly. That's rare these days." She shook my hand and left. And I stood there, watching her go, realizing something. Everything I had endured, the heartbreak, the humiliation, the messy nights where I questioned everything, led me here. To impact lives. To be a role model. To show that dignity doesn't die with betrayal. It just gets quieter, stronger, and eventually shines. 6 months after that disastrous hotel confrontation, I stood in front of a new class, in a new school, in a new life. No more looking over my shoulder. No more questioning my worth because of someone else's choices. I taught Newton's laws that morning, but I couldn't help slipping in something more personal, something my students didn't even know was for me. Objects in motion tend to stay in motion, unless acted upon by an outside force, I said, pacing slowly. That applies to life, too. Sometimes we're moving forward, and someone tries to derail us. The trick isn't to stop. It's to change direction, find a new path, and keep moving. They thought I was talking about physics, but I was talking about survival, growth, self-respect. Later that day, Sarah and I grabbed coffee. We'd become close. Not romantically, just two people who'd walked through fire and come out with scars and smiles. "You ever regret it?" she asked suddenly. "Regret what?" "Not blowing up sooner. Not going scorched earth on Megan and Adam." I shook my head. "No, because if I had, I would have burned myself with them." She nodded. "Fair." That night, I went home and looked through an old box, one I hadn't touched in months. Inside were wedding photos, anniversary cards, a dried rose from our third Valentine's Day. I stared at them a moment longer than I should have. Then I closed the box, walked it to the dumpster, and let it go. Not with hatred, with closure. Moral of the story? When trust is broken, you have two choices. You can destroy yourself trying to fix what someone else shattered. Or you can rebuild, not to prove anything to them, but to prove to yourself that you're worth saving. And sometimes, the best revenge is becoming everything they thought you'd never be. Jack, if you enjoyed this story, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe for more powerful Reddit-style tales. Your support helps us keep sharing stories that matter. Hit the bell icon so you never miss the next twist.